Hello. The name of the book is Glory. When God shows up, things go pop and sizzle. This is chapter 1, scene 2, Dysfunctional. The tent of worship, sometimes called the temple, both euphemisms for slaughterhouse. What in God's name am I to do with Sammy, God's name, Eli wondered. My diaper-changing days are long past, and good riddance, and the wife gone too, to her reward, I hope. I wasn't very good with boys in the best of times, and things are far from the best. His irritated thoughts were shattered by two simultaneous sounds, the gut-wrenching bellow of a newly slit calf, and the ear-piercing scream of a blood-spattered boy. Hophni slapped down his knife with the boredom of a man who has killed more animals than most people will ever see, and glared at the child. "Get the hell out of the way if you don't like blood," he bellowed, wiping his wet hand on his gummy red apron. Sammy turned on his heels and ran, headlong, into the paunchy midriff of the old, nearsighted Eli. Here now, you be nice to this young'un," Eli reprimanded his grown son. He bent down with much grunting and wheezing and picked up the trembling toddler. There, it'll be all right," he said, stroking the blood off plump white cheeks with the back of his knuckles. "You just get used to it, Sammy. This is what we call worshiping the Lord. You want to worship the Lord now, don't you?" Sammy turned and saw the calf shiver its last. Hophni looked up from his work and shook his head in disgust. "Dad, what in the world are we going to do with a kid?" Eli didn't answer. He turned and shuffled toward the feasting ground beyond the tent. "Well, I don't know. Reckon we'll think of something. Eli huffed and puffed himself down onto a creaking bench with little Sammy on his lap. He hadn't done so well the last time he had a little boy. Lord, if you'd be so kind as to help a fat old man and this poor little child. High in the heavens, the sun arose from his throne and watched with keen interest. A boy, a father, a tent, and blood. "Here, you do it like this," Eli said softly as he took the silver tongs from chubby fingers. "You pull the wick up from the side, like that, see? That way it'll burn all night long without smoking and without going out. You want to try it? There you go. Nice job. Aha, you'll make a fine priest. We'll leave those old animals to hot-head Hophni and his brother Phineas. Don't you mind them. They don't mean no harm, really." The tent of worship had seen better days. It wasn't exactly the tent that Moses had built in the wilderness at Sinai. That one had long since, fallen apart mostly. Fallen apart with a little help, one would have to say. The nation of Israel, under various quasi-judges and squabbling local chieftains, had gotten a little loose about all things Mosaic. We used to keep the Urim and Thummim right over there," Eli sighed, "till old what's-his-name took it. But don't you worry. We made ourselves a nice new one. Works just as good as the old one, I reckon. And the real lampstand used to be a little taller than this one. We had to sell it off to keep ourselves out of trouble, I guess you'd say. But this one will do just fine, just fine." Eli showed Samuel all around the tent of worship. It took about 7 minutes. But there was one part of the tour that really got Samuel's attention. The fuzzy-voiced Eli turned quite serious. He bent over so low that his whiskers tickled the boy's ear. Now this we still have. Nobody's ever going to take this out of here. This is the real deal. He fumbled to find the opening in the heavy embroidered curtain and began pulling it back. We're not supposed to look in here too often. This is the place where God lives. Well, he don't exactly live here, but he used to, sorta. This is the place where he used to show up. Eli straightened up and squared his shoulders proudly as he allowed his young charge to gaze into the dark, onto a dusty gold box. Eli gazed intently at the dark, empty air above the box. Near as I can tell, he mumbled. Sammy picked at his strange supper, fresh boiled beef and a piece of dry bread, then was led to a cot in one of the side chambers, right next to the one where Eli slept. The flames on the lampstand burned without a flicker. Sammy cried himself to sleep. With a quickness that can only be explained as the magic of childhood, Sammy grew accustomed to his strange new world. He never liked the gurgling bellows of the dying that reverberated throughout the compound, but they were so constant that he just got used to it. Eli had found a number of chores to help keep him busy. Busy in the worship of the Lord, he said, and the old man began to teach the boy his letters and numbers. It was one night in about the third week that Sammy made a discovery that would benefit him for the rest of his childhood. After everyone had gone to bed and Eli was snoring away, Samuel crept from his cot and went back to the heavy embroidered curtain. Eli's words, "We're not supposed to look in here too often," echoed in his ears. This wasn't too often, he assured himself. The curtain gave way easily enough to admit one tiny child, and Samuel stood staring at the dull rectangle in front of him. His hand instinctively shot out to rub the smooth surface. Nice, he thought. He went back to his cot and picked up his blanket and dragged it into the dark inner chamber. He curled up with his forehead right against the golden box and fell asleep. It was the best sleep he had had since he arrived. This room quickly became his secret haven. There he played and there he prayed. There he hummed and whistled and drove his toy chariots through the sand. And there, long after everyone else had gone to bed, a little boy, curling up on his mat every night beside the Ark of the Covenant, there, a little boy slept with God. And somewhere in the unapproachable heavens, the heart of the king stirred. All he had ever wanted out of his cosmos party was to live with his people. And he finally got one. Just one.